With us now is Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Democrat from California. Representative Waters, good to see you again. We saw each other out at the Milken Conference in L.A.
That's right.
We appreciate you coming. We've got a lot in common anyway. Thank you for coming on.
You're welcome.
All right, so you were just in a meeting. You're just in a conference. Despite some of the more vocal opposition to the EXIM Bank on the Republican side, it sounds like you believe there's plenty of Republicans that are willing to continue the charter.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I was just talking to my staff. We have over 200 Democrats who have signed on in support of legislation that would authorize or reauthorize the Export-Import Bank, and 41 other Republicans defiantly have signed, and we think there are a lot of more Republicans who would support it if we could get it to the floor. We are pretty stunned by the opposition to the reauthorization of the EXIM, because so many of the Republicans who have voted for it in the past are now somehow under the spell of the Tea Party leadership of the Republican Party. And we're really surprised at Mr. McCarthy.
Do you think
Mr. McCarthy has always been a supporter of EXIM. As a matter of fact, you know, he supported SpaceX. His friend Elon Musk, who is the founder of SpaceX, is someone who has benefited from the EXIM Bank with all of those launches that they've done, all of the jobs that they're creating. And so we think that Mr. McCarthy and others have been caught up in this political position that has been advanced by the Tea Party, and somehow they're backing away from their support for creating jobs and maintaining jobs in our country.
All right, so Congresswoman, what we hear, though, from those who oppose it, again, and I haven't heard the Tea Party angle, but I'm not that dialed into politics, I fully admit, is this, that number one, that it's tiny. The EXIM Bank is only about 2% of all the loans provided for export aid, so it's so small, private sector can pick it up. And also that basically it's selecting winners, right? That the federal government, or at least a part of it, should not be in the business of saying, okay, you know, this company, you're going to get a loan, but that company, you're not.
Well, let me just say this. Our balance of payments problem has been hanging around for a long time. We do not export. We do not sell other countries things that we manufacture and make in the United States. Other countries are doing much better than we're doing. Smaller countries, Korea and China, is now supporting its export efforts in a big way. And so whether it's 2% or 3%, we need all of the support for our export industries that we can get, and EXIM is doing that. And remember, if we had the kind of financing that they could get from the private sector, they wouldn't have to worry about support from EXIM. But we don't have all of that financing. And so EXIM guarantees it. They don't give them any money. These are not grants. This is loan guarantees. All that money is paying back. We have a teeny default rate. And so not only are we giving the kind of guarantees and financing, we're earning money for the Treasury. They put $1.5 billion back into the Treasury. And so it's a good deal.
Well, you know, it pays for itself. Okay, so
yes.
Congresswoman, here you go. I'm throwing salt over my shoulder. I've got a rabbit's foot in my pocket. I know it's unlikely. Please, to our national audience, assure us we will not have a government shutdown, because it's like Groundhog Day every year.
Well, listen, let me tell you, I'd like to assure you of that, but the way that Mr. McCarthy and others are being led by the Tea Party, I don't know what they're going to do. Democrats are opposed to shutting down the government. We work very hard to keep that from happening. But now, with the different element in charge here in the Congress, and Mr. McCarthy and others changing their positions like they're changing it on EXIM Bank, I just don't know what to tell you. I don't know what they will do.
We were hoping for the guarantee, Congresswoman.
I know. Well, you better ask Mr. McCarthy. Is he going to be for closing down the government or against it?
I'll get him on.
Who is he taking his leadership from?
Well, we'll try to get on and ask him. You were nice enough to come on. We'll pound his table a little bit more, Congresswoman.
Absolutely.
All right,
absolutely. But you have to know that this is about jobs. We're creating jobs. We need jobs in America.
Take care of Gardena.
I will. Absolutely.